What I would like to start with is the issue of marketing communication. So I would like to introduce you the marketing communication itself, its tools, and also some interconnection of those tools. And if you already have a Czech version of the lecture, you may already know them, know the tools. But anyway, I think it could be interesting even though. So firstly, what is the content of this lecture? So first, I would like to reintroduce to you the basic concept of the communication process. Why I'm saying reintroduce? Well, it's pretty easy because you already learned about that during the management course, and if my memory serves me right, I have to say that you were able to understand it. From the test, I remember that you were able to describe the parts of the communication process and so on and so on. So we just will remember those things just for your information. And then we will briefly go through advertising, public relations, sales promotion, direct marketing, personal selling. Those are the tools of marketing communication. And at the end, I will tell you something more about so-called integrated marketing communication. Oh, it's okay. It doesn't change. It doesn't change the picture. It's even better right now. Thank you very much. Well, I'm not kidding. It's really better. So yeah. So this is what I want to talk about today. So okay. So basic concepts of the communication process. Well, you probably know that the main aim of the communication process is to send the message to someone and to have a hope that the other side will understand the message. Okay, so this is the main basic of communication process. So, but in, let's say, more specific word, it's about communication, which is about the transmitting or transferring information from one person to another one, or you can say another one subject to another subject. Okay, it couldn't be a person in all the cases. And what is also important is not just about the sending the information, but also, and I should highlight it, this one, it's more about the thing that the receiver will understand the message, which is pretty tricky somehow. You may have some kind of experiences. You are still too young, which is great, but you still have in your mind some discussion with your parents, right? You try to express them something and they were like, they don't understand you. Do you have any kind of those experiences? Like you were trying to explain something to your parents and they were like, I don't have any idea what are you talking about. Yeah, okay, great. Because I still remember that. So I'm still struggling with my mother. So in this case, so it's still the same, I think, and doesn't matter how old are you. So it's from. And this one is like you know, generational problem, because there are some kind of barriers between the generation, and if you want to express something to the other generation, it could be a difficult one, right? And that's why I already told you during the Czech lectures that we did the research to better understand your needs and wills, like your students, your generation, the Generation Z. So we wanted to better understand you in order to be able to communicate with you better. Okay, so this is the thing. We need to be aware that the receiver has to understand the message in the same way. Okay, so that's why the communication needs to be clear. Because you know that in some cases, if it's unclear, there are something what we call the noises. Do you remember the noises from marketing management courses? Yeah. Okay, so the noise is something which can interfere with my communication, and what can destroy my communication attempt. So we need to be aware of those ones. Also, the receiver has also some kind of responsibility, because he or she needs to confirm that he or she understands the message, okay? So, and in this regard, the communication could be considered as a dynamic and also cyclical process, because we send something to someone and he or she should understand and then send some kind of feedback to us. And thanks to the feedback, we know that our communication approach was successful or unsuccessful, and we can do something with that. So yeah, and the importance of communication in marketing, well, this is really important, because I think I started with this topic. Today's marketing is more about the feelings, about the other thing, and the communication here is very important. Consumers just basically want to have an, let's say, cyclical communication with the companies, okay? They need to have some kind of attention, and you can't give them attention without the communication. It's like that. Also, we can say that the marketing communication could be described with 4, respectively 5 questions. And those questions are what to say. So we always need to know what we want to say to the other one. Then we need to know how to say, because there will be a difference in communicating with, let's say, with your generation, and also if I decided to communicate with the older generation, like baby boomers, I need to change my way of communication. I can't talk with that. Well, this is one thing I was thinking about, because some of you told me that you are struggling with some of the colleagues of mine, that whenever you use some Anglicism in your language, they sometimes consider this one as a rude, like that you are not using a Czech language properly. Is that correct? Do you struggling with that? Like if you use sometimes some English words instead of Czech words during the communication, right? And this is it, because the older generation, they don't like it, right? Maybe it's because they don't understand, or they have a different feeling about the language and so on. So my idea in this case is like the language is a living tool, and it should not be closed, and I don't see anything bad on using English words in Czech language. But anyway, for some generation or for some groups, it could be a really difficult one, okay? So we need to how to talk with the specific group of people or with our target audience. Then to whom? We need to know to whom we need to send the message. Basically, to whom we communicate, okay? So again, this is something which then can influence our message, the way we communicate it, and so on and so on. And also the question is how often we should communicate. Because you may also have the experience like that you are receiving any emails from some companies like every day. Like you order something through the internet, and then you will receive the email about incoming order, dealing with your order, sending the order, and then the email about that your order was delivered, right? And then, like twice a week, you can get a message about the new thing in their stock, and so on and so on. And this is not for anyone, okay? This is not for everybody, because someone just order once time in the life some products, and it's enough. He or she doesn't want to have a continual communication. On the other hand, in some cases, it's much better to have a continual communication, okay? So it depends. And the question how often we should communicate with our audience is very, very important. And me and my colleagues sometimes add another question, and the question is how much, or how much does it cost, okay? Because the costs of the communication is also very important, because if you remember from the first lecture, when I was introducing you the concept of marketing, I told you that the very important thing is to do everything and keeping profit in your minds. Okay, so you need to gain a profit by anything you do. So that's why the question how much is very important, because you can make a great communication, but it will cost you a fortune. And the question is if you want to spend a fortune on the communication. Okay, so that's the thing. So this is the basic. Then I think you know this model from the management course, right? I just like to briefly go through. You got like two sides. On one hand there is a sender, on the other hand there's a receiver, and you need to the sender has some kind of message, and he or she has to encode the message. What does it mean? Because if you have something on your mind, you need to transfer your ideas to such a kind of version that could be a transfer, and also it could be decoded and understood by the other ones. And still, because we are not able to communicate by telepathically, can I use this word maybe? Like, you know, that you send some ideas to the other ones and they will just receive the ideas from the air and they will understand what you want. Well, it's not work, even if we sometimes think that it works, it's not. And but there are some technical inventions in this field that in a short future, I think it will allow us to do that. You may already heard about Elon Musk. How is it called? I forgot. It's link, some kind of link. Do you remember the thing Elon Musk want to use for communication? The ideas. Neuralink. Okay, Neuralink. This is basically a kind of chip which is implemented in your brain. In case you have a brain, because I'm talking from my point of view, and sometimes, especially in the morning, I was like, yesterday morning, I was like, where's my brain? You know? And so, and the other voice in my head says, brain what? And so you may know that, especially on Wednesday morning after the heavy drinking on Tuesday. So anyway. What I wanted to say is that if you have a brain like you do, but if you have it, so you can have a special chip in your brain, and if some other person have the same chip, you can communicate without talking and without seeing each other, and just talking through those chips. And you may think that this is scary, and you are right, it is a bit scary. But on the other hand, like, imagine the thing that you can just focus on something and send the idea through the air to the other person. Okay, so that's great. Especially, like, imagine the situation that you are writing a test, right? And you can communicate with someone who is outside the room, and you don't have to talk. And you can just send your ideas, and he or she can send their answers to your questions. That's great. So yeah, it could be great also. And you, as Elon Musk said, you don't have to be worried about your, let's say, dark ideas, because I don't know like you, but maybe you all are sane. But nor me, I'm like not saint at all. But and sometimes I have very dark ideas on my mind, you know. And I don't know if I should talk about it. But anyway, if you are stressed that someone can, let's say, listen to your dark ideas, you don't have to worry, because Elon Musk was talking about how if you have the Neuralink chip in your brain, and if somebody wants to try to record what is on your mind, and if he or she is recording your minds, then as the result doesn't make sense. And why it doesn't make sense? Just because there are so many ideas going through our minds, okay? So to catch some like complete idea is almost impossible. So even though you will have the chip in your mind, you will have to focus what to say. So it's like, okay, I want to say, or I want to send this message to this person. Okay, and then you need to like write the email in your head, and then you can send it to the other person. And I think this is great because you don't have to write. You can just write it on your mind and then send to the other person, which could be great. From the marketing point of view, it could be also great because let's say imagine the situation: you are at the shopping mall and you just walking by some shop, and then the message can arrive to your brain like, we have a sale, just visit us, we got like 20% on all the stuff we got in the shop. And it just, nobody wants to talk, it just came to your head, okay? So it could be an interesting future in few years. What Elon Musk said was like he is going to introduce this service in commercially in 5 years, 5 to 10 years, which is very close. It's like behind the corner. Okay. So anyway, back to the topic. So we need to encode our minds somehow in order to be able to send those messages to someone else. So then the message, we creating the message, we are just, as I said, in the case of Neuralink, we need to put all our important ideas to some kind of message. And for that kind of message, we need to choose the right media. And the medium is some tool, or let's say vehicle, which can transfer our ideas from ourselves to the other one. Okay, so this is why we are using media, and through the media the message is sent to receiver, and he or she needs to decode. Basically it means if you have some printed materials, you need to read in order to be able to realize what it's written on the paper. And it's not just about the reading, because I maybe already told you that I am teaching my son, like I'm homeschooling him. I decided not to put him to the regular school. I'm homeschooling him at home, and he is already able to read, but he lacked one ability which is also important. You need to read, and what should be the second one? Understand the text, exactly. Okay, so that's the thing, and that could be also very tricky one, because what I wanted to say is to teach someone to read is pretty easy. Trust me, it's like 2 months, and you can teach anybody to read. It's pretty easy. But to teach someone or anybody to understand the text, this is an issue. This is a hard one. Okay. And I think this is thing we all struggling somehow with. Like if we have a text, like you are, like the examination period just started, right? So you are in the situation that you need to learn something. You need to prepare for the exams and so on and so on. Do you have the experience that you are reading the text but you just absolutely don't understand what it's about? Yeah, it could happen sometimes. I don't say it has to be like always, but sometimes you need to read it like twice, 3 times in order to understand the content, right? Because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And that's the thing. That's the thing in the communication. We need to be sure that the receiver will understand our message. So that's why I'm saying that, because you need to you need to find the kind of media they will understand, okay? Because this is the important thing. And also, it could be the medium who or which could, let's say, hit the target group, okay? Because I already asked some of you during the Czech lecture if you are still reading the printed newspaper, and I think no one, like except the sport journal. Probably you are not like that. You go to the store and you buy Hospodářské noviny or Mladá fronta dnes or something like that, right? Because you read it through the internet, and as I remember when we did the research, the small research, I asked you what kind of media you are using for gaining the information from the other world. So most of you are using social media platforms to gain the information. Okay, so I need to know that if I want to send some message to you, and if I want to let's say to talk to you, I need to find the right media. So here we go. Then there's a noise, and you, as I think you remember the noise from the management lectures. We already talk about it before. Noise are some, let's say, distractions among the communication process. It could be the real noise from outside, and also it could be some semantic noise, like that we don't understand, or we use a different language, and so on and so on. So this is the noise, and the noise can really destroy the communication. Okay. Also, we have been talking about the response, the receiver response, and so-called feedback, which is like the reverse. Or let's say the answer to our communication. Okay, you say something to someone and he is going to reply to you, and this could be considered as a feedback. So if I say to someone he's an idiot, he can slap me into my face, and this will be his answer to my calling he's an idiot. So this will be the feedback. On the other hand, if someone says to the other one he's a nice person, the other one can get red because he is, it's an embarrassing situation for him. And also, to become a red in your face could be considered as a feedback in this case. Okay? Even though you don't talk, you are sending some kind of feedback. Is that clear for you? Does it make sense? I think it's pretty easy to understand that. I'm not sure, but I think there was some question in the test asking you to describe the communication process briefly. Okay, and I think this is really pretty easy to understand. So just remember, there's a sender, receiver, some kind of feedback, message, media, and some kind of noise, and that's it. Okay. Well, what about the marketing communication mix? I remember that I already introduced some parts of the communication mix, I think 2 days ago, if my memory serves me right. But anyway, we are going to go through of them more deeply. So we are going to talk about advertising, sales promotion, public relations, personal selling, and direct marketing. You may already know that those are the tools which marketers, and not just marketers, but also individuals, can use in order to communicate with the public or with the target group, target audience, and so on and so on. So mostly those parts are used for persuading the other ones. Okay, we are trying to change their minds, but not just minds, but also the habits, or we can change their will, for example, and so on and so on. We can use mostly we are using those tools for changing something, but also we are using the tools, some of them, especially for example public relation, we are using this tool for just for the communication, because you know that you have some stakeholders all around your company and you need to communicate with them, and marketing communication allows you to use the tools to communicate with stakeholders and also general public. You know, because you are not in the empty space. You are live in some environment, and within that environment, the people are there. And doesn't matter if you like it or no, but the people are there, and then you need to communicate with them somehow. So this is it. So this is the marketing communication mix. And if you don't mind, I would start with advertising, because the advertising, as you may know, from the Czech version, and also from the exercises, because we have been talking about advertising, and we have been talking about advertising even during the communist era in Czech Republic, and also after it, and so on and so on. So advertising is still the most important part of marketing communication, and you probably may know that. I will provide you some numbers or some basic facts related to the advertising. As I said, advertising is the most widely used and also most visible mean of marketing communication, because whenever you look at, you can find some kind of advertising. Because if we think about advertising in the way that even the brand could be considered as an advertising, so when I look at the colleague and he's got a Quicksilver t-shirt, the nice one, by the way, then it's a kind of advertising, because you are advertising the brand to me, because I can see it, and it could be considered as an advertising, okay? And in that regard, we can talk about the fact that during the day we can meet about 500 to 1,500 advertising incentives a day, which is like, I don't know if it's terrible or if it's amazing number. It depends. It depends on the point of view, okay? But maybe you know that I was talking about it during the Czech lectures. We did a research when I was a student like you. We did a research in Zlín, in Faculty of Multimedia Communication, and we did a research, and it was like 2005, which is almost like the great history. But anyway, we did the research. It's like almost 20 years ago, and in the Czech Republic, the average person was able to meet around 300 to 700 marketing incentives a day, and it was like 20 years ago, right? So nowadays the number has to be even bigger, because like everywhere you look at, you can find some kind of advertising. So that's why we can be pretty sure that still the advertising is the most visible mean of marketing communication. Also, we can say that advertising is a complex form of communication, because it it contains a lot of other parts, or let's say other smaller tools, which can be used together to impact consumers' thoughts, feelings and actions. And that's great, because through the advertising you can beat like 3 rabbits in one shot, like thoughts. You can change what the people are thinking about your brand, about your product, and so on and so on. Also, the same advertising can change their feelings, okay? And then it could also influence the action. Like if we use the example of Alza and the stupid green creature which is still screaming, and so on and so on. So like it can change your thoughts. Like you can think that this little green creature could be killed, and it shouldn't be nice. It should be like really horrific death for this small creature, right? So this is your thoughts. Then there are some feelings, like you can feel anger, or if you are a kid, you can feel like, on the other hand, you can feel love, because the children, they love this creature like a lot, which I can't understand, but anyway. So it influencing your feelings. And also it could influence your action, because even though you really hate this little green man, when you decided to buy some electronic, the first company you can realize you can buy it from could be Alza. Just because you hate this green idiot so much, it creates a strong feeling in you, and whenever you have a strong feeling about something, and it doesn't matter if the feeling is positive or negative, it can influence you during the buying decision process. So just Alza will be the company you will remember first, just because the stupid green man, okay? And even you can hate him or her. I don't know if it's if it has some kind of pronouns, but anyway, if you hate it, let's say, the Alza could be on your mind when you are deciding to buy something, some kind of electronics. Does it make sense to you? Do you have any other example with some other campaign, let's say? Like that probably, yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Okay. And how does it work?
Santa.
Uh-huh.
On the truck.
Okay. Oh yeah, Santa on the track. Wow, great. This is a good example. Thank you very much for that. Because again, even though you can be the Lohas one. Do you remember the Lohas? Yeah, okay. The people, the lifestyle of green and sustainability. So those people promoting themselves like they are not drinking Coca-Cola because it's not sustainable and there's a huge amount of sugar and so on and so on. But even though if the Christmas Coca-Cola truck will arrive to the town, they will probably be there just because it brings the feelings, you know. And well, in Czech Republic the situation is a bit different because we don't have a Santa. Who is the guy instead of Santa in our country? Who is his name? Oh, great! I'm just trying because you are the whole new generation, and for example, my kids, they think that there's a Santa and Ježíšek together, you know, and they are like, if Santa brings me something, what Ježíšek will bring to me, okay? So I was trying to explain them that there is just one guy, but it doesn't make sense to them, okay? So anyway, back to the topic. Like in US, the Santa, I don't know if you know that, but the Santa is a product of Coca-Cola, right? Like not the Santa itself, but the idea how we perceive Santa. Do you know that? Do you know how Santa looked like before Coca-Cola changed his appearance? Okay, I will try to Google it for you, because this is the interesting one, okay? So, let me show you Santa Claus before Coke. And he wasn't nice at all. It was like, it's still Santa with the Coke, but I won't like to it was like something like this one, okay? He was a green, you know? And in the history, in the like, it goes like 300 years ago, the Santa was green. And he was also considered to be rude to the children. Okay, so we got in our history we got something the same, especially on the Moravian part of Czech Republic. We have something similar. Oh, it was called Šperechta. Have you ever heard about Šperechta? No? It was a Christmas creature who makes a holes into the bellies of the children. Okay, so they make a hole. They almost make the children to be dead, like kill the children, and they left some present there. Okay, that was the basic idea of Šperechtas. Okay, Šperechta. You can Google it. I was Googling it for my kids because they were interested about that. They heard something in the kindergarten, and they were asking me who the fuck was the Šperechta. So I told them. And it was really interesting. So the same story, or not same, I'm sorry for that, a similar story is with the Santa before the Coke overtook it. Because before that it was a green creature, almost like Alzaman, right? And he wasn't so good talking about the relationship with the children than the red one, okay, red version of Santa, okay. So I just close the window if you don't mind, because I don't want you to be safe from the cold, but we can open it after that. So anyway, so this is Santa. So this is the original one. So what I wanted to say is that Coca-Cola was even able to change the way how we understand the term Santa. Okay, so which is pretty awesome, and thank you for the example, because I almost forgot on it. So, and this is because of the advertising, because the strong advertisement of Coca-Cola. They were able to change the mind of millions and millions of people, to persuade them that Santa is a good guy in a red, delivering presents, and so on and so on. Okay, so this is the, let's say, power of advertising. Well, if we should look at the advertising, you don't have to learn the definitions. You know that I don't like to ask you for the definitions, but just for your information, the first one is, I would like to show you two different definitions, because one of them, the first one is from the US market, and the second one is from the UK market, and we can say it's from like European perspective. Okay, so the US one says that advertising is non-personal communication of information. So it's not like if I say buy a Coke because it's great beverage, it's not advertising. It's a more of direct marketing or maybe personal selling, as you may see in few minutes. So it's more about this one. Okay, so it's non-personal communication of information, usually paid for and usually persuasive in nature about the products, and it doesn't matter if it's like heavy products or if it's service or so. And also it could be about ideas, and everything is done by identified sponsors through the various media. And if you have the Czech version of the lecture with me, you may remember I was talking about the attempt of Pepsi Cola, and they wanted to have their logo in the space, in the outer space, right? They were. Do you remember that? Do you remember the story about Pepsi Cola who wanted to have their logo in the outer space? No? Yeah? Oh, some of you. So for those of you who don't know the story, in the 80s of the last century, Pepsi Cola decided to have a logo in the outer space. Like the idea was like to put a great or big mirror into the outer space, and through the laser beam to project their logo on the mirror. So it would be like you can see the moon, stars, and Pepsi logo on the sky, right, during the night. That was the idea. So technically it's possible, but there was some issue with the organization, United Nations organization, because they said something like that the outer space belongs to everyone, and it's not supposed to be used commercially. Okay, but anyway, as you can, this is why I'm saying that advertising is done through the various media, because it doesn't matter what it is. Whenever you are able to put a logo or some kind of message on it, it could be considered as an advertising media. Like even the toilet paper could be used as advertising media, because you are able to print something on it. Okay, and I saw the toilet paper with advertising on it. Well, it could be a funny situation when you print a coupons on it, but I don't know. It's maybe a shitty one. But anyway. So this is the marketing, American Marketing Association. Then we got Advertising Association of the UK, and they said that advertising is a means of communication with the users of a production of services. Advertisements are messages paid by those who send them and are indeed to inform or influence people who receive them. To be honest, I am not able to see some kind of main difference between those two ideas or definitions. It's almost the same. Maybe it's just given, the differences are maybe just given by the law, by difference in the law of the US and European Union. But anyway, this is the definition. What you should keep in mind is that advertising is non-personal. This is the first thing you should remember, and it's already almost every time paid. Okay, that's it. What's the purpose of the advertising? Well, we can find a bunch of things which can be considered as the purpose of advertising. There are really a huge number of them. But we can pick some of them and we can introduce them, or I can introduce them to you. So if we look at some of them, the first could be to convince someone that your services or your good is the best one on the market. Okay, so we are trying to convince someone. I'm sorry. Also, it could be to enhance the image of the company. Even though you have a bunch of other tools to recreate the image of the company or do whatever you want with your brand and so on and so on, the advertising still is considered to be a very effective one. Also, you can create or you can point out and create a need for products or services. Like when you explain to your target audience why they should want your product, then you can change again their minds and you can convince them to buy something and so on and so on. So you can create a need. And like I think some of you already experienced this one during the Czech lecture, because I was talking about, it was pretty funny situation. I was talking about a Red Bull drink, and suddenly the colleague of you take out the Red Bull from his bag and open it and started to drink it. Just because I was talking, oh yeah, Coca-Cola, great, awesome, another good example. Awesome guys, that's the good one. Like we were talking about Coca-Cola and they just came with Coca-Cola in their hands, so yeah. You know, this is the way how advertising works, okay? But I can't say it was advertising from my side. Do you know why? To take into account the information we said, like, well, yeah?
You weren't paid for it?
Yes, I went. How do you know that? Yeah. Anyway, you are correct. You are correct, and I haven't been paid for, which is sad, to be honest. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, we created the need for someone to drink a Coca-Cola. Also, we can demonstrate a new uses for established product. Like I'm just trying to find a good example of it, but I don't know if I can talk about it. I don't want to embarrass you, but I had to burn a garbage on my cabin, like old parts of trees and the grass and so on and so on. And it was raining, and I don't know if you were a scout when you were young, or if you are a so-called tramp, you like the nature and so on and so on. Anyway. There's a way how you can start the fire even in the rain, and how you can maintain the fire even though the material is wet. And that is when you use, I'm sorry for that, the menstrual tampons. You know, you can soak them into the gasoline. You can take them to the material you want to burn, and you just very carefully, light them on. And that's great way how to maintain and how to start the fire, even though the material is wet. Okay, so I use that technique. And by the way, I realize how expensive the tampons are. It's like crazy. I don't know why, but anyway. So I have to pay like 100 crowns for the package, and it was enough for the fire. And sorry for the guys, you know. But this is true story, you know. If you need to burn something, and if it's raining and if it's wet, so what can you do, right? So I have to spend some money for that, but I was successful. The firemen, they didn't have to come. Everything was under the control. Okay, so because you know there are idiots around us. They just pour the gasoline into the material and they just start the fire, and that's a very bad idea because you definitely lost the control over the fire, because whenever you try to start the fire on something where the gasoline just poured on it, so it's a bad idea. So if you have it under control, then why not, right? Anyway, so why I'm saying that, why I'm talking about it, the reason is that you can like find another purpose of some kind of product which is already on the market, and that's why the advertising could be a very good mean for informing your public about it. Okay, so this is the demonstration. Also, you can announce new products and programs through the advertising. You can talk with your target audience, or you can reinforce the salespeople's individual message. Like we are going to talk about personal selling. And the idea here is like if you do an advertising campaign and then you have a salesperson, then as a salesperson you have much better situation if you are trying to pursue someone, if someone already know about your brand. Like if it's like, oh, I saw the advertisement in the TV yesterday, okay, I know what are you talking about, okay? So this is the reason why the advertisement can, let's say, reinforce the salesperson work. Also, you can draw customers to the businesses, this is a good idea how to use the advertising, or you can also hold the existing customers, which again I have been talking about a lot. I think, like I told you, that it's much cheaper to hold your old consumers or customers, let's say, than to gain the new ones. Okay, so this is it. This is like that. Okay. Function of advertising, like you can use advertising again in so many different ways. You can use it for identifying products and differentiate them from the other ones. You are mostly do that through the branding, but we are not going to talk about the branding today because, as I told you, you can have a like subject on branding. Also, you can communicate the information, or you can induce consumers to try new products, or let's say to suggest to reuse, or now you know that you can burn a fire with tampons. Okay, so that's the good one. Or you can stimulate the distribution, because it's like if you do some kind of product and if there will be and demand for the product, and if you have like intermediates in the way from the production side to the consumer side, then the advertising can, let's say, force the intermediaries to make more effort in the process of delivering the products. Okay, I don't know if it doesn't make sense to you. If it does make sense to you, like if you are producing, let's say, I don't know what, something like carrot, for example. You are the farmer and you are producing the carrot. And if you make, if you remember the socialistic advertising, and it was for Salate, or what was it for? I don't know. Like they were shooting on the rabbits. Do you remember the advertising I showed? No, never mind. Doesn't matter. Like, anyway, you are a farmer. You are producing a carrot, and you want the consumers to buy more carrot. So you can do an advertising campaign and tell everyone that if you eat carrot, it's great for your eyes, it's great for your mood, and it's great for, I don't know, whatever you want. And then if there's a distribution channel, like there's a producer, like the farmer, there's a consumer, and in the middle there's a, let's say, some intermediary, like wholesaler or retailer or whoever you want. So thanks to the advertisement, you can, let's say, push the consumers to push to their intermediaries in order to have more carrot. Okay, this is a so-called pull strategy, pull up the strategy, because you just pulling the consumers in and trying to make them to push the intermediaries to have more carrots. Is it clearer right now? Do you know what I wanted to say? Yeah. Or no? Yeah? Okay, okay. So I think it's not in the test, but anyway, I would like to just to let you know how you can use advertisement in other way. Okay, so then you can build a brand awareness, and also you can build up a preference and loyalty, and also you can lower the cost of sales. And you may ask why, or how can I lower the cost of sales, knowing that the advertising is pretty expensive, right? But on the other hand, if you what the advertising could is to talk to a whole bunch of different people. Like you can talk, like literally, you can talk with millions of people through one advertising campaign, and that's why at the very end, the advertising is considered to be very cheap, because if you are able to talk with the millions of people through just one campaign, then your cost, your communication costs could be lower. Like in comparison, if you think about salesperson, like one person has to talk with all of you in order to, let's say, change your minds, it will be pretty expensive, okay? So that's why. Okay, and like last slide, and then we can make a break. Are you okay with that? Yeah, just for a small refreshing. So just roles of advertising. You can have a marketing role, which is pretty clear. It's like all what we already talked about. Also the communication role. Again, we have been talking about the communication role. It's just sending the message. But also the pretty important is the economic role, because the advertising is a business. You know, there are so many advertising agencies. Also, thanks to the advertising, a lot of internet services could be for free for you, right? I think all of you probably have a Gmail, right? Do you have a Gmail? Okay, do you pay something for that, or do you have it for free? For free. Like for free is like in quotation mark. Why is that? Because just you don't pay directly, but you pay by your data. Okay, because the Google, the thing the Google do, and he's or she's, I don't know, it's pretty good in it. It's collecting your private data, and they are selling those data in order to get the money from the advertising companies. Okay, so you got like email for free. Or an email box for free, but the catch is that you are giving them for free your data, and your data are the, you know, the most expensive thing in the whole internet. But they are selling those data, and according to those data, the advertising campaigns are set for you. Okay, so when you, for example, when you searching something through the Google, which you probably do, and as I remember, when we made a small research about your, you know, approach or about your behavior when you buy something on the internet, you told me that you in like
most often you write something to the Google, and then you can go through the different pages and so on and so on. And the thing is that Google is basically listening to you and reading your emails. I don't know if you know that, but Google reading your emails. So they know what are you talking about. They know what they almost know what are you thinking about, right? And according to those information, whenever you search something on the Google or through the Google, the results are made up for you. Okay. So if the Google know, like, I think this is an old story. I maybe already told you, but I had some injury. I cut my hand with the saw, and I was writing about that with my colleague, and he was like, second day he opened the YouTube, and in his feed of YouTube there were videos about power tool safetiness. Okay, and he was like, this is very strange because I haven't searched for it, I haven't do anything like that. The only thing was that we write an email about it. Okay, so that was a bit scary situation, that we just changed 2 emails, and then within his YouTube feed he saw the videos about power tool safetiness and so on and so on. So please keep this in your mind, because everything you do on the internet everyone can see, almost everyone, and then they can use those information as a marketing tool. Okay, so this is it. So like, nothing is free on the internet. Well, that could be the motto I would like you to take it from this lecture. Nothing is for free on the internet. And if you I know that most of you are considering Facebook as a very obsolete platform, and it's true, I think so. But if you remember, where there is a login page on Facebook, there is written that Facebook is for free and it will be for free, right? It's still written on there. But again, it's a catch, because it's not for free, right? Because the information they gaining about you, this is like it's almost scary, right? So this is the economic role of advertising, and then there's always societal role of advertising. Well, through the advertising campaign, you can learn like how to behave, for example, because you see something in advertising, like TV ad in advertising clip, you can see some behavior, and you can try to copy it, and so on and so on. Or also because the advertising has a power to mirror the social trends and also create them. Okay, so it's creating the trends in the society and also mirroring them, so it's giving us some kind of feedback. And you may remember the case I told you, like advertising learned people or taught the people how to use shampoos, right? Like some of you still using shampoo, like you put it on your head twice, like put it once, do something with that, splash it out with water, and then you use shampoo for the other time, take it to your hair and just splash it again, okay? And this one was the thing taught by advertising during the 90s, because during the 90s companies wanted to sell more shampoos. And how can you sell more shampoos? Just, well, you can persuade the people, like instead of buying 1 bottle, buy 2 bottles, but what they will do with it, right? So if you persuade them to use more of the product, you can sell more, right? This is easy like that. So this is the societal role, that advertising can teach us something, can change us mind, can also mirror the trends in the society, and so on and so on. So we don't have to go through all of those. So yeah, as I said, we can make a 10 minutes break if it's okay for you. Yes. Just for refreshing, and then we continue with the topic, okay? Thank you. kompletní konec jsme si řekli ve 12:30. Jo, i s tím testem ten začneme psát ve 13:30 a necháme na to hodinu, takže 14:30. Když to napíšete dřív, tak skončíte dřív, jo, asi takhle. a zase a na druhou stranu asi tam nedám žádný limit, když to budete chtít psát díl, tak to budete psát díl, jako, jo, prostě sám rád nejsem ve stresu, tak ani vy nebuďte ve stresu. Okay. Tak, so we can continue if you don't mind. I would like to talk about public relations, which is another, let's say, very powerful tool for communicating within the marketing. And firstly, I would like to introduce the basic concept of public relation. Basically, I would like to explain what does it mean to have public relation or do the public relation. And then I will show you some specific tools you can use within the public relations. So, what does it mean, public relations? Well, it's about communicating, again, because we are in the field of marketing communication. And this is about managing and disseminating information from an individual to, or organization to a public. And this is the most important thing, that we are talking with the public. And there's a small catch, because the other parts of marketing communication are set to communicate with your consumers or customers, okay, only. But the public relation is set to be a communication tool with the public. And it doesn't matter if within this public you can find your customers or not, okay? Because sometimes you just need to communicate with your public, but there is no one who wants to buy your product. For example, if you are, I don't know, if you produce the farmers' tractors, okay? If you will be a John Deere company and you do tractors, I don't know, maybe you may be a farmer, but imagine the situation you are not, and you don't need a tractor. But anyway, they still need to communicate with you, just because, for example, the company is next to your home and they may polluting the environment, or, I don't know, offering the jobs and so on and so on. So basically, within the public relation, you don't have to be a customer of the company. You are just considered to be a public, and there's a need to talk, to communicate with the public, okay? So the public relation is the only one tool which is not supposed to be a communication tool with the customers, but also with the general public, okay? This is the difference. And so yeah, and what is the aim of the public relation? Well, as I said, it's the communication process itself. It's like communicating, and thanks to the communicating, you can build, manage, and also sustain its positive image, like companies' positive image or individual positive image. Okay, so it's like talking, for example, talking about personal branding. So you as a student should want to have some kind of image, like if your teacher will think of you that you are the smart one, it's much easier than if your teacher thinks about you in the terms that you are the, you know, not so smart. Like, well, yeah, I'm so sorry for that, but that's true, because if you see some kind of, like from the teacher perspective, if you see some kind of effort in the students, whenever you, let's say, checking his or her tests, or if you are do the examination, let's say the bias you have, like you think that the student is smart, can helps actually the student to have a better result. Okay, I can talk with the perspective of the final exams, like the bachelor exams. Like, if we know that the student sitting in front of us is a smart one, or if the one who seems to be the smart one, we are trying to help him or her. Like, if he or she appears to have no clue what are we talking about during the examination, we tend to think that there's just some issue, like he or she is too nervous or something like that. Okay? But on the other hand, if we know that the students is the one who just don't give a, you know what I wanted to say on the lecture. The Canadians, because the Canadians are considered to be very, you know, nice people, and they, instead of saying shit, they are saying don't give a hoot. Like if you're an owl and they are do the noise, there's a hoot. So the Canadians they always say I don't give a hoot. So if we know that this students doesn't give a hoot about during the whole life cycle of the study, so then we know that he or she doesn't prepare for the finals, and our effort to help him or her is lower than in case that we think that he or she is smart one, or you know. So that's the public relation, because and that's is my maybe you remember that I introduced you at the beginning of when we met for the first time during the management lectures. I introduced you my motto, which says fake it till you make it, right? So it's much better for anyone to fake something, like fake to be a good student, because it can improve your image. Like really, it really works. Because I'm sometimes talk with the students after their finals, and you know it's an honest conversation, because we are sitting with a beer and so on, and they are honest and I'm honest, and it's awesome, because they are sometimes they are saying to me that they were completely dull, you know, that they knew nothing about the topic, but they were somehow able to went through the examination process. So that's pretty interesting, and it's just because of the image. Okay, so the image is really important, not just on the personal level, but mostly on the company's level. So manage, build, and sustain positive image. So this is it. This is why we have a public relation. If we look at the public relation definition, I used to a definition given by PR, Public Relations Society of America. I love the short. Yeah, this is it. Because for the Czech student, this one is funny one. PRSA, right? If you read it, it's funny thing. But usually when I have this lecture, it was no, you didn't raise your hand. You just okay, changing your no, it's okay. What I wanted to say is like if you show it to the foreign students, they don't get it, right? But for you, it could be the funny one. That's why I use this definition, because because of the funny thing here. But anyway, they say that public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationship between organization and its public. So this is what I said. It's a communication between an individual or organization and its public, and it doesn't matter if there's a target or if there are customers within the public. They don't have to be there. Okay, so I think this is pretty easy to understand. Well, the process of public relation itself involves things like evaluation of public attitudes and opinions. If you do the work of public relation, you need to have a measurement for measuring the, let's say, like opinions of the public. You need to know what the people are thinking about you. Okay, this is really important. And if we look like 1 or 2 years back when we had the previous government, so our prime minister was well known. I mean, Babiš, you know, he was well known for his research on public opinion. So whenever he wanted to say something, he had an agency who gave him numbers or information what the public thinks about the issue. So whenever he stand up in front of camera and said something, he already knew what the people are thinking about, and he just replied to it. You know, he just used the maybe emotions in the society, and he just went on those emotions. So I don't know. I don't know if you think, if you remember about so-called refugee crisis in Czech Republic. So he just made an research. He realized that a huge number of people in the Czech Republic are against the refugees. So he used it as a topic. In other way, if he realized that the Czech people are for refugees, are in favor of refugees, he would switch off his communication in favor of refugees, you know. So I don't think this is the kind of politic we should have, but anyway. But this is the part of public relation work. Also, there's a formulation and implementation of an organization procedures and policies regarding communication with its public. So if we set some policies within our company, we can communicate according to them with our general public. Also, it's about coordination of communication programs. Again, if you decided to communicate in some way, then you need to be sure that all the departments of your company will communicate in the same way, in the same manner, to all its stakeholders. Okay, so it's like, for example, if you have a company who has a great marketing department and the marketing department knows how to communicate with the public, you need to be sure that also, let's say, the accountant department will be able to communicate in the same manner with the public. Okay, so like all the company has to communicate in the same manner, in the same way, and it needs to be coordinated. Like if something bad happened, you need to be sure that there will be no employee who will talk with the media and you will not know about it. Okay, for example, like there's a situation, you know, the dean of one faculty of ours, Mr. Shevchi, right? So this one is a great example of how not to communicate, like, because you see that the university is trying to communicate in some way, but he doesn't. You know, you can realize that he's communicating in totally different way, and he is destroying the image of the whole university just because he's an asshole. I'm sorry for that, but he is. You know, and that's it. So you need to be sure that everything is coordinated. So then, developing rapport and goodwill through a two-way communication process. So again, the goodwill here is the term you can focus on, because if you communicate with the people, and if you are nice to them, they can be nice to you back, and it can create a mutual relationship with a strong base. And if something will go south, like something went wrong or go wrong, you have surroundings which can support you, or at least which won't destroy you. Okay, this is very important. And also, public relation involves fostering a positive relationship between an organization and its public constituents. Okay, so this is, we talk about this, especially if we talk about government, about local government, about shareholders, stakeholders, and so on and so on. What about the specific public relations disciplines? Again, you can find tons of tools you can use within the public relations. I would like to introduce you the main important, I think, or at least from my point of view, they are the most important ones. And they are like financial public relations. This is about communicating financial results and business strategies. then consumer or let's say lifestyle public relations. This is like gaining publicity for a particular product or service. Like if you will have a product which is very sensitive to the environment, it's like really green product, you can gain some good image, or you can improve your brand through your effort, through your activities. Like you can have a product which can save the planet, right? And in this case, you can be someone who is considered to be the saver, like the one like Bruce Willis in his movies, someone who will save the whole nation or whole planet. Then we got crisis communication. This is whenever something happened, you should have a crisis plans which can navigate you through the crisis. Again, we can use the example of Mr. Shevchik. So whenever he do something, like he's walked through the Wenceslav Square, right? just as he said, he just walked through, like, and suddenly some guys were fighting, and he was just like trying to save someone's life, right? But anyway, the school has to be prepared, and I was talking with our dean and the other people, and they told me that you can't even imagine how many emails they'll receive the second day. Like there were two groups of emails. One of them were in favor of Mr. Shevchik, and the other group was against him and against his behavior. And now the university has to deal with it somehow. Okay, and it's not so easy. You need to know how to do that, and that's why you need a crisis communication. Okay, because you need how to communicate this issue without destroying your brand, without destroying your image on the public. Okay, so it's not so easy. Internal communication. This is about the communication within the company. This is how you communicate with your employees, how they are communicating between them, and so on and so on. So again, this is also important because, especially nowadays, you need to avoid any, let's say, behavior which could be considered as a sexist behavior. Like you need to be careful about some guys who is too touchy, for example, with some ladies, and so on and so on. So those are the things you need to be prepared before everything happened, and so on. Government relationship or relations. This is how you engage government department to influence public policies. Food-centric relationships, even though this is whenever you, in case you, this is just an example. Obviously, but if you do something like you creating some kind of products which are considered to be food, you need to be able to communicate it. And why I put this this tool here, why I put this example here, it's because of the situation with the prices in Czech Republic. You may remember how I tried to persuade you to go shopping for your food to the Austria, right? Because it's crazy expensive here, and the reason is like this is a result of lobby process, of lobbying, you know. Because the question is who can we blame for the high prices here? Do you have any idea who can we blame for it? For example, why the sugar is too expensive, or why is the butter is so expensive? Who would you like to blame?
I think just supply and demand.
Supplying what?
Supply and demand.
Oh, supply and demand. Well, yeah, sure. Partially, you are absolutely right, because we are crazy, you know. Yeah. Even the butter is too expensive, we still will buy it. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, who other could be blamed for it? Yeah.
companies because they have very high margins?
Yes, this is the exact. Thank you very much for that. Because this is the image. Like companies, especially the shops, can be blamed for it just because they have a high margins. But the fact is that their margins are regular, around 15%, which is normal in all industries. Okay, the margins in the other industries are around 15 to 20%. But the one who could really be blamed for it are the producers here, but not the small one. Like if you are a farmer and you produce the carrot I already talked about, it's okay. But there are, in Czech Republic, we got a special situation where we had a huge farmers companies, and they are given, or they are in hands of only like maybe 5 people, and this is Babiš, Toman, and the other guys who owns the whole supply chains for those things, and they are the one who are setting the price high. And also through the public relation activities, they were able to, let's say, change our minds about, for example, Polish products. Right? Because if you ask the general public about the quality of Polish products, of Polish food, they usually say, it's from Poland, it won't be as high quality as I would expect, right? But this is only a result of public relations, you know, because the Polish products are very on high quality at all. Like they have a really quality products. I was talking with also the colleagues of mine who were lecturing you, and he said the same, that the Polish farmers, they have a huge problems to sell anything to the Czech Republic, because the public opinion is like the Polish food is not so high in quality like the domestic products. But this is a very questionable thing, and the real issue is that this is just a product of public relation, and it's about the changing mind of Czech consumers to believe that the Polish products are not good at all. Okay, so just for your information, that we are victims of those companies and so on. Then we got media relations. This is about communication with media, because on one side the media could be considered as a specific way or part of public, and also media are or could be considered as an amplifier to our messages we are sending to the public. Okay, because mostly we are sending our messages through the media, and the media can amplify our messages, or they can, let's say, even delete our messages. So that's why we need to be able to manage the media, and we need to know how to talk with media. Okay. Next one, sales promotion. Sales promotion is a very interesting activity which allows us to force the sale of the products we need to sell. Okay, so we can say that sales promotion is like media or even non-media marketing communication tool, which is used for predetermined, this is important, or let's say limited time to increase consumer demand, stimulate market demand, or improve product availability. The well-known tool of sales promotion is sale. I think everyone, we know what the sale is, like reducing the price and so on and so on. But there's a catch, because as you may realize, there's a written that this should be only for limited time. But if you look at the flyers from the Czech shopping mall, you can find an issue there, because some, or maybe it's not the issue with the flyers, but there's an issue with the consumers, because they are waiting till there's some kind of sale. So like most of us, I would like to say. So most of us are like, I want to buy something, but it's not in sale right now, so I will wait. I can wait a week or two, and then there will be, the stuff will be in the sale. Is that correct? Have you experienced that? Yeah, sure. It's not good, but it's a reality. It's a reality of Czech market. So we are like, we would wait for the sale till we buy it, okay? In the different countries, it's different. The sales are there too, but if you look, it's an important one or interesting one. If you look at the flyers of Czech shopping malls or supermarkets, mostly the flyers are dedicated to the food. If you look at the flyers from Lidl, first 2 or 3 pages are dedicated to the food. The same for Kaufland, I don't know, Albert, and so on and so on. The most part, like maybe a half of the flyer, is dedicated to the food. If you go to the Austria and if you take the flyers from their shops, the food has like 1-2 pages, and the rest is for the thing you don't need on everyday basis, like grills, clothes, I don't know, flowers. This is typical for Austrians. They sell some kinds of flowers and so on and so on. So this is the difference, you see. Where in the Czech we are taking into the sales the regular food and regular stuff. In the foreign countries, they are using sales as a tools to sell the products which are not sold every day. Okay, so that's the difference, and that's why I think that our market is somehow damaged, because there should not be that. We should not buy sugar or butter or whenever you want, or milk, only when there is a sale on it. Okay, so because it's not fair. Anyway, if you use sales promotion in a good manner, it can helps you to sell something which wasn't sell on the rate you wanted. So you can let's say make up yourself or make it then better. The versions of sales promotion could be like contents, coupons, freebies. They are the good ones. Loss leaders, point of purchase displays. They are very common also in the Czech shops, and there's a research which says that they are very effective. Do you know what I'm talking about if I'm talking about point of purchase displays? Do you know what I'm talking about? It could be some kind of advertising you can find within the shop. Like they are called, for example, wobblers. Those are the things which advertise some product from the shelf. Okay, I will try to Google it for you. I think it's good, because you know what I'm talking about, but you can't just imagine it right now. I don't know if there are 2 L's or just one. Maybe there are 2 L's. Okay. There are some of them. Okay, so you can see, for example, this one is a special. There's even a special shelf for Scotch tapes, or it could be like for this one. It's not. Oh, this one, Coca-Cola. Okay, so special shelves, special places to sell. Or this one. This one is a funny one. Okay, so for the milk products or something like that. So those are the special shelves, or Nivea could be here. And the wobblers, this is from the fishing. I mean, I don't want to show you this one. Maybe there are 2 L. I don't know, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is it. Okay, I will show you. This is a wobbler. Okay, so do you know now what I'm talking about? They are very often. You can very often find them in our supermarkets, and they again advertise the product, they advertise some kind of sale and so on and so on. So this is a wobbler. Oh, there are maybe 2B, no, not 2L, but 2B in there. But anyway, sorry for my grammar. But anyway, so this is a sales promotion activities which can help you to persuade consumers to buy. And what they need, what they do is basically they change the consumer behavior immediately. Like you didn't want to buy something, but they instantly change your mind to buy something. Okay, so those are the things. Then you can give like premiums, prices, product samples, like you buy something and you get something for free together with that, or rebates and so on and so on. So it's like a tool which can allows you to attract a new customers, also hold the present ones, also counteract competition, okay, or take an advantage of opportunities revealed by market research. Again, if you realize that there is some let's say place on the market, you can sell something. Thanks to the sales promotion, you can sell your product more efficiently. What you should to know is that there are also at least two ways of sales promotion. One way is like targeted to the consumers. When we talk about consumer sales promotion, and also it could be targeted at retailers. Like if you are a creator or company and you want to force the intermediaries to sell more, so then you can use also sales promotion targeted to the trade sales, and then we when we talk about trade sales promotion. I think that's enough for this topic. Then we can switch to the direct marketing, which is again pretty awesome tool. It's a very effective tool because basically we try to define direct marketing. We can say that the direct marketing is advertising, but doing in a way that we can focus on a specific individual. Okay, so we use the same media, we use the same procedures, we use everything almost the same like in the advertising, but we are just focusing, or we are communicating with specific person. Okay, so like I use this example with my Czech class. Like if you get the flyer from the Lidl to your mailbox, it's an advertisement, but it's whenever it's written your name on the flyer. When there's your name, then it's direct marketing. Okay, so this is the slight difference between direct marketing and advertising. But anyway, direct marketing is considered to be very efficient because you can use the media, the advertising media, so it can be cheap, but you can attract the exact person. Okay, you can talk like almost privately to someone, even though you are still using the mass media. You just create them or recreate them to be able to communicate with the specific person. Like the easiest example could be like, let's imagine that, take into account the flyer from the Lidl. So you can add some, like you can have a database of your clients or the customers, and you can use this database to print out their names on the flyers. So then the flyer will come with your name on it, and then it will be a direct marketing. Or you can create a special offer for your client just because of knowing his or her needs and wants and so on. Like if you got, is there anyone who has a Tesco Club card? Oh yeah, okay. or the card, I don't know how it's called, for Drogeria Mark, DM card. Do you got it? Yeah, okay. So this is it. It's like they are collecting the information about you and they will prepare the special offer just for you. Like, especially in the Drogeria Mark, they do that. Like, they will prepare you a special coupons according to the knowledge what are you buying usually. Okay, so that's the thing. And it's very, very effective because if I know what are you usually buying, I can make a special offer for you. Okay, if I know that, like, I don't know, what is the, this is my personal interest. What is the most favorite alcoholic beverage you drink nowadays? Gin and tonic, or gin and cola, or what? Gin and tonic?
Vodka soda.
Vodka soda, okay. Oh, this is the clear one, that's great. Jack Daniels and what?
Jack Daniels with the fire one. The
Uh-huh.
one.
Okay.
On the with cola, not on its own.
I'm sorry?
Vodka.
Vodka. Okay, that's interesting, by the way. And do you drink the plain vodka just without any ingredients, or?
Sometimes, but usually it's cola.
Oh yeah, I mean like if the vodka with some taste, like peach vodka or no, just plain. Yeah, okay. That's interesting, you know, because there's a huge shift in the consumption habits of the students. I don't know why. There could be tons of reasons, million of reasons. Because when I was in your age, we were drinking Tuzemak with Kofola, right? It was very difficult to wake up in the morning after that, after drinking. Yeah. So, but it was cheap, you know. It was much cheaper than vodka with something. Okay, so that was the reason for us. It was cheap and it was effective. Okay? And also we were drinking a beer. Do you drink beer or just prefer vodka? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Why not? Yeah. It's good way. Okay. And anyway, so if I know your preferences, so now I know that a lot of you prefer to drink a vodka with something. So I can make a campaign to promote a vodka. I can do like sales promotion. If I go back to the previous one, I can make a technique, or I can use a sales promotion technique, and I can offer you like 2 + 1 for free. Like two, if you buy 2 vodka with tonic, the third one will be for free for you. That's great, right? And I can improve my sales in this regard because I know what you want. Okay, that's why the direct marketing is very important, because I know exactly what you personally like. Like the guys here said that they want like vodka, someone says like Jack Daniels with something, and so on and so on. So if I know that, I can make an offer for you personally. It's not like I will make an offer for all class, because there are some preferences on a personal line, right? Like someone could prefer to have a Jack Daniels, someone could prefer to have a vodka, right? So if I know that, I can make and prepare an offer just for you, and that's great from the marketing point of view, because it's cheap. It's cheaper for me, because I can be sure that I will be much precise with my offerings for you. Okay. So this is it. This is why we are having direct marketing. Basically, I thought everything about that. Well, maybe this one is important. The goal is to sell directly to consumers without letting others join the parade, right? Because if I do a campaign to improve my sale of Jack Daniels, for example, then it could be a disadvantage for me, because I don't know, how many of you prefer Jack Daniels? You said 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, like, I don't really drink, so I don't think we can take me as an example.
Oh yeah, no worry. Okay, I can take it also like an example. Well, I'm just trying to take it like an example. Okay, anyway, so if I know that only like right now, I know that only 4 people in a class will prefer Jack Daniels. But if I will do a campaign to promote Jack Daniels, then I just, I'm just burning the money, because it doesn't make sense to promote Jack Daniels for all of you, because you just, or you already set your preferences. You got preferences for vodka, for example, okay? So that's the reason why we can use the direct marketing, because I can do the same campaign. Like I can do a campaign like 3rd drink for free, but I can personally offer you, like for you it would be a Jack Daniels, for you it would be a whiskey, and so on and so on. So this is the reason why we use the direct marketing, because we can suit you the offer. And the last one, but for sure not the least one, is personal selling. This is the oldest one. It's kind of selling like in persona. You are trying to persuade the other one, like person-to-person communication, by the person-to-person communication. And this one is considered to be effective on one hand, but also very expensive on the other hand. Why is that? Like it's easy, because if you are trying to persuade someone, you can be very effective if you do it by yourself. It's great because we can sit and we can talk, and I can try to consider to change your mind from vodka to Jack Daniels, for example, and we can talk like an hour or 2 hours. We can drink with that, and now you suddenly realize that the Jack Daniels tastes better than the vodka. Okay, so and then everyone will be happy. But the thing is that if I decided to change the mind of all the class here, and I will go student by student to persuade them to switch from vodka to Jack Daniels. So first I would probably drink myself to death, because if I will drink with all of you, like on a personal level, I will be dead after 3 meetings, I think. So this is one issue. And the other issue is that the time is expensive. And if I use like, I will need some time for, to get my power back and to go out of my the bad feeling of the morning and so on and so on. So then it will cost a lot of time, lots of money, and so on and so on. So yeah, on one hand, it's very efficient tool. On the other hand, there's a need to use this tool only in specific cases, like if you are selling something very expensive, like some tool. Oh yeah?
Maybe in car dealerships?
Yes, it could be like that. Yeah, sure. It could be like that. It's a great example anyone can experience, because all of you one day, if you don't have it right now, like car, if you don't have it right now, you will probably need one in the future, and you will have to meet some car dealer and he will talk to you. And yeah, exactly. That's a great example.
Also real estate?
Yes, real estate. This is also a great example. Even though there are efforts to change the way how the real estates are sold, like you can have some like video introduction about the apartment and so on and so on. But anyway, still this is a good example. And also this technique is used mostly on the business to business level, because there you are selling the machines, or you are selling the concepts, ideas, and so on and so on. And on that level, personal selling would be the great one. Okay, and the last thing connected with marketing communication is so-called integrated marketing communication. And what I wanted to say basically is like, if you will be able to put all the things together, all the tools of marketing communication together, and if we can plan them, like plan the usage of them, then we can gain so-called synergic effect. And the synergic effect you already may know, it's like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, but it's equal to 3. Like that you can use the power of the individual tools and combine them to gain more power for your communication. So this is it. It's written in here, and this is a pretty funny thing because sometimes, or in the other words, lots of companies still thinking in very narrow way, talking about marketing communication, because a lot of them thinking just in the way of advertising, or some of them thinking just in the way of sales promotion. But if you know that you can connect those things together, you can earn more, like literally. Because if you do a public relation campaign and if you persuade your public about your effort to save the nature, then you can make an advertising campaign to introduce your new product. And if the consumers know that you are the one who actually saving the nature, they will be more prone to buy something from you than from the other companies, okay? So it's not like that within the public relations you are also persuading your consumers about to buying something. No, you are just creating the image of your company, and then with this image you can create campaign to persuade them to buy something. Is that make sense to you? Yeah? Because there's one question in the test on it, like explain what does it mean, the integrated marketing communication, or maybe it's put it like what is the main advantage of integrating marketing communication. It should be I am not sure if INSYS will pick up this question, but I know that in the pool of the question there's one like that. Okay, so this is it. That's enough from marketing communication.